With our generation beginning to reach our child-rearing years, I wanted to see if there was a way to improve upon how previous generations parented, specifically how they disciplined. Since I am autistic, I wanted to find out if being disabled had any effect on the efficacy of corporal punishment. The use of corporal punishment has historically been justified on the grounds that the pain and humiliation it caused will discourage the offender from repeating future crimes. Quote, any punishment which force is involved and intended to cause pain and suffering is how corporal punishment is defined. A disabled person, according to the ADA, is someone who has a physical and mental impairment that strongly affects daily life. This includes people who simply have a history of a disability, even if they do not currently have it, or people who do not have a handicap but are perceived to have one. Discrimination on the basis of an individual's disability is likewise illegal under the ADA. Proponents of corporal punishment claim that it is an effective deterrent to bad conduct in children. Kids immediately learn that violations cause them physical discomfort. It is suggested that, as a part of a broader strategy, physical punishment helps kids make better choices and teaches them proper discipline. Other people would additionally say that their parents raised them using corporal punishment growing up, and they turned out fine. I would posit the notion that if you think hitting kids is a fine way to teach them how to be functional adults, you are in fact not fine. We have learned a lot about child development in recent years, so doing what your parents did might not always be the best choice. I will give a point to the advocates of corporal punishment, though, because if my mother had not hit me throughout my adolescence, I would not be nearly as headstrong and just honestly stubborn as I am today. Nor would I have learned that I frankly don't want to hit any potential kids I have, because I've seen the adverse effects it has on me. In the association between child disabilities and caregiver discipline and violence in low and middle income communities, 4 researchers, Charlene Hendricks, Jennifer E. Lansford, Kirby Deckard, and Mark C. Bornstein, set out to examine the relationship between children's disabilities and caregivers' use of discipline and violence. The study discovered a link between the percentages of children with disabilities and their score on disability and discipline indicators. Language impairments were found to be more prevalent than in cognitive or motor problems. Despite the wide variety of indicators and markers, cognitive scored the highest, then motor, with sensory being the least. Any aspect that makes children harder to raise leads parents to using harsher types of discipline. Because such notable challenging characteristics generate chronically elevated levels of parental stress, reactive parenting behaviors are more likely. Parents of children with behavior concentration or compliance issues are more willing to use severe forms of discipline than parents of children without such problems. time pressure, such as the time required to take children to appointments, which in disabled kids is a lot more time than non-disabled kids. Additionally, parenting tasks related to help manage a child's disability, parenting under public scrutiny when their child's disability draws attention to the family, and behavior management difficulties in determining which behaviors are out of the child's control versus controlled, were all factors that increase the likelihood of corporal punishment in disabled children. Each of these difficulties increased the parents' stress and their tendency to react angrily to their children. In conclusion, I am convinced that corporal punishment has a harmful impact on disabled children. Not merely through raising kids to accept the possibility of damage being done to them, but it is also teaching them that it is okay to harm your own children, making them question their parents' love, such as it did with me. It will also cause a delay in developing independence. Corporal punishment should be outlawed not only in schools, as it currently is, but also in households, in my opinion.